Find the exact value of each of the remaining trig functions of theta if sine theta is equal to 12 over 13 and tangent theta is less than 0 and tangent is negative. First of all, we need to determine the quadrant, the angle. Okay, so let's draw coordinates. So 0, 90, 180, 270, back to 360, and we know the quadrant rule. All students take calculus. All positive, sine and its reciprocal positive, tangent positive, cosine positive. So in this question, sine is equal to 12 over 13, that's positive value. So sine has positive value, so it could be either in first quadrant all positive or second quadrant, not in the third and fourth. And second part says tangent should be less than 0, means tangent negative. All positive, but we want tangent to be negative, so second quadrant. So the angle theta lies on the second quadrant. So this is the initial side, and we can just draw, doesn't have to be exact. So here is the angle theta in second quadrant, and sine is, we know when we have a triangle, right triangle, A, B, C, adjacent, B means opposite, and C hypotenuse, sine is B over C, and in this case we have 12 over 13, like B over C, but in the case of general angle we say R, B over R. Okay, so we take a point on this line AB, A this direction, B up, and for this theta the reference angle is here, by the way, and B is 12. So from here to here this is A, that's A, and we don't know about A, but B is 12, so this is 12, and from origin to point, that's R is 13. Now we need to determine this A. This is B equals 12, R equals 13. Now let's find A. From Pythagorean theorem we know A square plus B square equals R square, so let's use that. A square plus B square equals C square, but we say R for general angle theta. A is to be determined, plus B is 12 squared, C is 13 squared. A squared plus 12 squared, 12 times 12 144, 13 times 13 169. Subtract 144 from both sides, 25. Take square root both sides, so A equals 5. Okay, the distance of this point from here to here, that's 5, but this is in negative x-axis. Okay, when we are talking about theta we have to give correct sign for the orientation, so we put A equals -5. In fact the distance is, the length is 5, but for this theta we have to give correct orientation. This is negative due to the orientation. Now we can find all 6 trig functions, though sign is given. So what I'm gonna do now, I want to list all 6 trig functions: sine theta, cosine theta, tangent theta, and their reciprocals: cosecant theta, secant theta, and cotangent theta. Sine is B over R, that's 12 over 13. In fact this was given. Cosine is A over R, A is -5, so we can pull negative in the front, -5 over 13. Tangent is B over A, that's 12 over, A is -5, so negative in the front, 12 over 5. Cosecant is just the reciprocal, so 13 over 12. Secant is the reciprocal, so -13 over 5. is 13 over 5, and cotangent is negative 5 over 12. Okay, this is how we find all 6 trig functions.